In this video, I'm going to talk to you about building entrepreneurial ventures. Now, why do I think I'm qualified to talk on this? I'm not one of those academics who has done a lot of research on entrepreneurship and then I'm trying to prepare something and present it to you. I am an individual who has worked in large organizations, who has worked in really small size organizations, who has worked in mid-size and again a large, and then has started his own. Now, entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial ventures are a very different thing than all these four which we have talked of earlier. However, it's very possible that unless an organization was funded by government or by a rich family, it's most likely that most of these large organizations of today might have also started as an entrepreneurial organization sometime earlier. So whenever we are talking of entrepreneurship, there are four. We always talk of entrepreneurs as people who take opportunities and make it into a successful business model. They are very different from small business owners. Small business owners are classically organizations who are happy to be able to service their requirements of having their own store, having the independence of work, and the kind of revenues they generate, which is sufficient for their family or their own personal needs. However, an entrepreneur is a person who takes an opportunity and he sees it to full potential. So yes, very many entrepreneurs start up. They are unable to develop their organizations to full potential, so they start and they will fizzle out as small business. However, there are few which actually rise to their full potential and exploit the market space and the opportunity which is given to them or which they have seized. Now, how does the opportunity come? The first thing is that how does an entrepreneurial opportunity get generated? There are four ways in which this is done. First is the demand and the supply gap which is operating in a particular city, economy, environment. Now, what might happen, for example, that we see today in the supply of vegetables in India, and or else of right priced schooling in India. So the demand supply gap actually presents unique opportunities for an entrepreneur to start a better supply chain and therefore be able to seize an opportunity in the marketplace. One sees very many organizations, even in the .com mode, getting into simply vegetable and grocery supplies. So this is possible because of the unique nature of the industry, which is in the specifically the vegetables and the commodity space, which is operating now in India. The second, which is the most often touted about, is the new idea, the innovation that an entrepreneur has been able to generate and figure it out. Now here, the best examples that one can think of are liquid mosquito repellents. Now, mosquito repellents were there, but then having it in a liquid form and which sustains for a period of a month is a good idea, which an entrepreneur had generated. He scaled up his business and then sold it out to a larger player in the industry. Third, if the particular product in the country is of poor quality. Now, if the product is of poor quality, there is an opportunity for an entrepreneur to get in and do something new out here. The inverters, due to the power situation of the country, were of very poor quality in the country, which is when a company like Sucam came, took this opportunity and made this business into an organized one, offering a very good quality product. Several organizations take this route. They identify the poor quality products which are there in the marketplace, though users don't have a choice because that's the only available option, and they then create better products around it. And the fourth one is about operational issues. If there are operational issues which is there with the existing player, there is a scope for an entrepreneur to come up here because the existing player is not being able to deliver the best possible to the customer. So here one can talk of the housing challenge, which is always there, which perhaps will always be there, and entrepreneurs come in and they just they perhaps buy the houses out from in a semi-constructed phase from a builder, and then do it up in a manner which a lot of people would like to purchase it. So they actually do up the decor and all, don't spend so much money into it, but make it in a different manner. Secondly is the hostel housing, which has now started in India due to the rise of the BPOs. So the housing challenge, the hostel challenges, the hostel opportunities, these are all opportunities which entrepreneurs take up because of the operational challenges which exist. While there are large companies employing lots of bachelors and spinsters, they don't have proper housing for them. So this obviously is an entrepreneurial possibility. Now, when an entrepreneur is trying to make his organization big, he has to have access to a few things. First is knowledge. The hope is that this knowledge will be providing him with the unique idea that we are going to talk of and which he will later develop over time. The next is access to capital. If he has timely access to capital, it's a very different case altogether. And the third is his ability to convert his ideas and take them to full potential. Now that is where a different kind of a challenge actually comes up, because while he might have an idea, he might have access to capital, he might not be able to take the idea to the full potential. Now there are, without the knowledge or the idea, an entrepreneurship venture can't start. Without the capital, it can't scale up. However, even if an entrepreneur has knowledge and capital, converting ideas to full potential is something which very few people can do. This is where people like Sunil Mittal and Narayan Murthy are very unique, because they have taken up an idea and then made it into a very big opportunity. Whereas these two gentlemen, so if one takes TCS and Infosys, while TCS was a division of the large Tata group, so therefore they had access to capital, Infosys didn't have that and they had to create the whole thing. So therefore Infosys is truly an entrepreneurial venture. Similarly, Bharti is truly an entrepreneurial venture. Now, why does an entrepreneurial organization, having started, now why does it either remain as a small business or it closes? What are the reasons for this? People have done a lot of research on this. I have worked very closely with many entrepreneurs, and what I think that there are 2 or 3 reasons. First is that a better idea has come up. So while the entrepreneur has started with his own idea, actually in the marketplace a better idea came up, which is why this particular entrepreneur is unable to find his own idea as viable anymore. Now in the process of proving that he is better than the new alternative, he might sink in a lot of money into that, but it doesn't work. It was a non-starter actually once a better idea has come in. The second is, I've seen them fail due to poor execution. The entrepreneur is very deep and very involved in managing the day-to-day as well as strategic things. They will be, that is their own venture, but at the same time executing that without any loophole in between, without your workers taking advantage of you, without pilferages happening, without quality issues coming up, is a big challenge. And the last that I always see is lack of finance. Now finance has to be available at the right time. Lack of finance or inability to attract investors into his venture can be again one of the reasons why an entrepreneurship venture might fail. Now, having done these three, very often what I have also seen is that while an entrepreneur might have an idea and he has worked hard to set up his own business, his next generation doesn't want to continue with that business. So there is always a sustainability issue which any entrepreneurship venture will face sometime or the other. Now, when we talk of entrepreneurship, classically it goes through a curve. From the start, it will take a dip, and then it classically generates returns, what we call as a hockey stick. However, the time frame from start to the dip and the lowest point might be perhaps 10 years or 5 years, and from the rejuvenation to the highest point can be another 5 years. So the time scaling is a very different thing about it altogether. So one has to keep in mind that an entrepreneurship venture is only possible when these pitfalls has not been hit, and at the same time the entrepreneur has the tenacity to be able to sustain this particular graph which we see here. Entrepreneurship is very critical for a country because that generates new revenue sources, new options, new ventures, new jobs. So countries support it, but at the same time an entrepreneur also has to seize the right opportunity